Welcome to Evening Tea, a slow after bedtime space for women who are exploring motherhood differently. Here we talk about the things you whisper about with your closest friends, the tender, the intuitive, and sometimes controversial. From pregnancy, home birth to postpartum healing, vaccines, natural health, motherhood, parenting, identity, and everything in between. Nothing's off the table here. So pour yourself a cup of tea, take a deep breath, and settle in. I'm Kaya, and this is a conversation that you've been craving. And to be honest, guys, this is one of the first episodes in a very long time where I actually am sitting down with a cup of tea after bedtime. So that's a nice contrast.
Cheers.
Cheers. Tonight, we are sitting down with one of my closest friends. That feels really exciting for me. We're sitting down with my friend Shira, and we're talking about her two C-sections. Did you have two emergency C-sections? Or one of them was planned?
So we didn't have planned ones at all. But they
Okay,
didn't
so they're both
but they didn't feel like the first one felt like more of an emergency rather than the second one.
okay. Like the second one, you kind of had it in the back of your mind that
Yeah,
it
the
might be a
second one.
C-section. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Shira, for joining us. So glad to have you
Thanks for
here.
having me. This is so fun.
Yeah. Okay, let's jump right in.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember when we were pregnant the first time.
We were
And I
very
say we because we were pregnant at the same time for like, I don't know, 6 months maybe. I think we overlapped a little bit.
yeah.
I remember like we were talking about like how our births were gonna go, and I want to hear from you. Tell us
My birth
during
was
your
gonna
first
go.
pregnancy what you thought your first birth would look like.
I think we spoke about it a lot when we were both first pregnant because
Yes.
because you came from a background of home births.
Yeah.
And I definitely did not. So my goal wasn't a home birth but my goal was more of like n- not the natural way cuz it's all natural, but I think like the more like I was doing it in a hospital but with the midwives that are part of the hospital. I didn't want any interventions, but like I knew that I was in the hospital so that was probably going to happen. But like
Okay. Yeah, I
yeah.
remember I remember discussing this with you.
Yeah. So I really tried
Yeah.
to do my research and all of that really went out the window. If I'm completely honest.
Hey, wait, walk us through it slowly. If you're willing to go back there,
Yeah.
walk us through what happened. Did you realize during your pregnancy? Did you realize during your labor that you would have to have a C-section?
So
What did that look like?
I went in with full confidence that I was walking out without any interventions, no C-section, no epidural, no Pitocin, like all of the above. I was going to walk in there without. And I walked out with 7 layers of my skin being cut. So, yeah, I think it was a really big mind shift and like it was defeat. I felt defeated, honest, like when I left the hospital with my first C-section. My second one, I mean, we named my second kid Rafael because I just felt like it was a much more healing experience rather than
That's beautiful.
the first one was really a lot to handle. But with the first one, I did so much research and I really think that that kind of hurt me rather than help me because I went in already having this like agenda and like, yeah, I had a birth plan and I had a doula and I had all of that, but I also didn't fully understand the medical field of birth and what it actually means when you go into a hospital setting, especially because I wasn't way overdue. I was overdue in what they call overdue, like I was 42 weeks and 4 days,
Wow.
according to them. With my second, I think I didn't really give them a specific date that I even was like my last menstrual cycle because I was so Like, my cycle was so messed up that, like, I was like, "I'm not even giving them a date because I don't even know," you know?
Right. Like, you at that point, you couldn't know.
Right. And that I actually went into labor, like, with my second. My first, I didn't even go into labor. Um,
I did not know that.
yeah, which is really also, like, it didn't nothing my water didn't break. I was
You didn't
expecting
have, like, contractions? Like,
nothing,
the 1 minute apart, nothing?
nothing. And
I'm
that's why I think it was medical coercion rather
okay.
than and that's why my first felt very like, I felt defeated because
Yeah.
everything that I learned or read or even spoke to other people or spoke to more natural like natural homeopathic ways and, like, the birthing center rather than the hospital, they're like, you'll know," and then I wasn't getting that feeling. So, Sukkot, we had I had my oldest on Hoshana Rabbah, and when I went in Friday, so, like, Chol Hamoed, I went into the hospital for just a checkup, and it was the overdue ultrasound, um, which is where they get you because you're sitting there and you're, like, nervous already because 'cause you're, like, in your head, you're overdue and nothing's happening. The baby's moving, like, you don't feel anything else that's happening, and they were like, "Well, the baby's heart rate is, like it's a little bit low, your water level's also low, and so we have to induce you." And this was like they wouldn't even let me leave the hospital. That was like the crazy part. I went in on Friday and they were like, "We can't let you leave." And that was in the ultrasound room. Like I didn't even go to see the doctor or the midwife or anything. Like from that point, they called in their supervisor and they were like, we can't let you leave because it's the baby's health is in like, the baby's not like the water's very, very low, the heart rate's very, very low, and we can't monitor it if you leave the hospital, and so we don't want you to leave and then come back, like, a few hours later and say that you can't feel anything, you know?
Right.
So, I had a full panic attack, like, I literally kicked them out of the room from the ultrasound. I was like, "I need to call my midwife," who was, like, on the 3rd floor, but, like, I still had to call them,
Yeah, like, just
and
to
I
speak
was
to someone you trusted
yeah,
even.
yeah, and I was like, "And I also just need time to discuss this with my husband who's sitting right next to me." They didn't give you any time to be like, "Here, let me give you a few minutes to talk
Right.
about it." And you know what's so crazy is I forgot about this part of my labor until, like, now. Like, just talking about it, like, that whole process, I forgot about it. Maybe it's a trauma response.
It is. I mean,
I literally
I
forgot about it.
I heard something recently that your brain only lets you remember details that your body's ready to process.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So,
super crazy.
talking it through is a form of processing,
Right.
and you totally might remember more details that you did not remember were there.
And so I called her, and the problem that I had is that the midwife group at the hospital that I went to, um, has, like when I had my first, I was like there were, like, 10 midwives rotated. With my second, there were 15. So there was, like you never know who you're getting on
Yeah,
call. You
that's
never know
honestly,
who's
like, that's
coming
the
into the
hardest
room.
part about midwife groups. It's the same in New York, like, if you're using a
Yeah,
midwife group, you don't know who's coming,
yeah.
and, like, there's no way to know.
Yeah. And the
Yeah,
problem is, like, during your appointments, they're like, "Oh, you'll probably meet everyone," but then every appointment is, like, with the same midwife. So, like, I only met 3 midwives the whole time I was in my pregnancy, and I had a perfect pregnancy, so I thought that everything was gonna go smoothly. And I called the midwife. Thank God it was one that saw me in my pregnancy. Um and I was like, "I'm in the ultrasound room, and they're telling me that I have to get induced, and I'm sure you already hear it because they called them right away." And I was like, "It's literally my Sabbath in a few hours." Like, I was like, "We're in middle of a holiday, it's my Sabbath. If you're not gonna let me go home, I need to be able to leave to go home, shower, get myself together, pack up whatever I need, and then I'll come back." And I was like, "And
Right.
I'll come back." Like, I'm not gonna just
Not running
leave
away from you
because
guys.
I was
Like,
like
you already told me my baby's heart rate is low. Like, I'm
right,
coming back.
like, you already scared me enough that I'm going to come back, but I need the trust factor already. I'm already nervous, I'm freaking out. It's my first kid. I'm 22, 21. How old? I don't even remember how old I was.
I was 23.
So I was 22. 20
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
no.
because you gave birth. Yeah. No,
I was 21 when I got married.
you're 23.
I turned 22. Yeah, I was 23. So, yeah, so I was, like, a little pisher having a kid, like, first time. So, she was like, "Yeah, you can go home, you could do what you need. We'll, like, have a room ready. Just when you are ready, just come and meet us at the emergency department," whatever. So, I went home, I cried, I showered. I remember it was very hectic and to no one's fault, I think because it was a Friday afternoon, and, like, it was really hectic because we had no food. And, like, it was I mean, Sukkot. We were staying with my in-laws for Sukkot, so I had all my stuff there already packed and everything. Because we were anticipating that I was gonna go into labor, we just had no idea when, so we just made sure we had everything we needed. Um, but, like, food, like, my father-in-law ran to the store and was like, "I'll get you things like challah and grape juice," like, I don't even
Right. Also,
remember.
you guys don't have, like, a takeout option. There's no House of Glaw fully ready
Right,
food ready to
right.
go where you guys are.
Right.
So, unless
There
someone's
is
making you
kosher.
food.
Well, there is kosher in our hospital.
Right, but, like, ew. It's like airplane food, it's disgusting. Like, why do you wanna eat the kosher food in the hospital there?
When I was like also, like, already, I was like, in my head, I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna be eating during this time." Like, I wasn't putting that restriction on myself, and the midwives knew that. Like, I wasn't gonna be like, they knew that, so I wasn't gonna, like, just suffer and eat the food in the hospital. So, my mother-in-law, like, made us a bunch of food, and it was really it was actually, like, amazing because I was like, "This is really nice. We'll be able to have, like, a Shabbos," you know? Whether or not I go into labor, we'll have a Shabbos in the hospital. And so my anticipation was to just go and see what's happening and, like,
Right,
start
like,
the
to go and
process.
let things happen while they monitor you.
Yeah. Um, I will say, like, a lot of it is in your head. I think labor, one of like, the 90% of it is, like, in your head. I don't even know that like, that's not a real percentage. I'm just, like, literally, like, if you're in your head, it will mess you up because it's all your brain is what is going to power you through it.
Yeah, and your body needs to be relaxed
Right.
to be able
And
to give birth, like,
so we stopped by my parents, we said bye to them. We, like, had no idea what the timeline was gonna be.
is the hospital close enough to the community that, like, someone could have walked in on Shabbos to find out if you had a baby or if
Yeah.
what was going
Yeah, it's, like,
on or
right here.
okay.
It's like a 2-mile walk, not
Oh,
far.
that's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's like 30
Um,
minutes, 40 minutes.
yeah, not bad at all, like, really close. Like, it was a 5-minute drive,
Nice.
which was really nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we went. Honestly, like, we didn't really want anyone coming on Shabbos. Like, I was just like, let's just wing it and see what happens. And, like, Motzei Shabbos, we'll announce it or we'll wait, or we'll just keep
Yeah.
having conversations. And then, so we get to the hospital, we sign in. Literally, like, everything was still like, I still wanted to do my birth plan. So, like, we started off with, like, my just, like, natural induction. So, like, they had pumps for me. They did all that stuff. I will say my doula was not helpful. Like,
It's hard.
not really at all. And so that was like, I felt really not supported from her because as a doula, I would think that you would know how to help with an induction process of, like, the pump and then other things to help move along the process, and she just was not helpful at all with that.
That's really annoying.
Yeah, and so we started with the pumping, and they were monitoring the heart rate the whole time, and they kept saying that, like, with the pumping, the heart rate was really dropping very fast.
That's so scary.
Yeah, and they checked me, I was, like, not even anything. So I was having Braxton Hicks for weeks.
Yeah, that's normal. I'm saying, like,
Yeah,
that's not dilating anything,
right. So I went in, I think I was 1 centimeter dilated, but
which is your body's natural state
right,
is 1 centimeter
right.
dilated.
So I was regular. I was regular. But then I was 75% effaced, which is right. Okay. We did the pumping for a little bit. I honestly can't remember. Like, it was just so hectic. There were so many people coming in, papers, this, like, thank God it was so quiet that night. Like, it was so quiet. We were one of 2 women, giving birth. So we had, like, everyone in our room, which is not helpful.
The cavalry, the
Exactly.
whole cavalry.
Yeah. And so I can't even remember, like, the next steps. It was just us, like, prepping. It was Shabbos, like, had come in. So I did like, and then Shabbos started. And then, like, I don't remember anything else after that. Like, all I remember is that the pumping was not working. They kept coming in. I was so tired. I was honestly more numb just because I was just annoyed that, like, this is where the process was starting. Um,
Did they try anything else, like the Foley balloon or any
no.
other induction methods? So interesting.
Yeah, they really didn't do a lot. Yeah, they swept the
Membrane
membrane.
sweep? Okay.
My water didn't break.
Right?
Um, I wasn't really having any contractions still, but the heart rate kept going down. So
That's really scary.
yeah, so it was a few hours of that. I can't even remember the timeline, because it just felt like forever. But we were there the whole Shabbos, that's what I remember. Then Shabbos came and left. Um, Still nothing. I think, like, Shabbos afternoon, they came in and they were like, "Hey, we've been doing this, for a few hours. Like, it's been almost 24 hours of trying, and you're still." I think I got to, like, 2 centimeters or something. And they're like, "We're gonna try Pitocin." And I was like, once I hit Pitocin, I knew that I was like, m all of my all of my birth plans that I was planning was kind of, like, out the window, and I know that a lot of people don't feel that way, and that's okay. But for me, I was so set on not having Pitocin or epidural that the minute that she was like, "We're gonna do a Pitocin," I was like, "Okay, fine, I'm done." Like, and that was yeah, and that was, like, the starting point for the defeat. Oh, they gave me Pitocin without an epidural.
That's crazy.
So, I actually had that with both of my births, but
Did they tell you why they didn't give you an epidural?
I didn't want one. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I wasn't
Well,
dilating, so
right, I was
I
about to say, I guess because you weren't having, like, crazy contractions that you needed it.
right. Well, the minute I
Oh,
got Pitocin, the
what happened next?
contractions went actually, like, I felt like I
Oh
was
my god.
dying, but it went, like, so fast from, like, not really having a lot to, like, crazy pains that I think, like, after they checked me every, 3 hours or something. But they weren't close together either, so, like, I was just sitting there and then having pain, and I was able to sleep, like, it was, like, a weird experience. Um, and then they came in and I was at 4 centimeters, and I was 95% effaced. I It sounds a little bit crazy, but after having Rafi and then also, like, having other things like my IUD put in and things like that, and even things that the person placing the IUD, she, like, made a comment about how my cervix is, like, not even my cervix, like, my vaginal canal is, like, weirdly shaped, and my cervix is, like, it's, like, weird. Like, it's a weird so, like,
Or
I even said that after I have like, before I have my next kid, I'm gonna get, like, a full checkup and see, like, what
to,
actually
like,
is happening
fully
down there to,
understand.
like, figure it out,
Yeah,
to see, like, what's happening and if I will only need or only be able to have C-sections because of the way my body was shaped or whatever.
Right, and then at that point, at least you'll know that you could just plan it and know when you're going in.
Right, right. I also am gonna change hospitals with the next kid because there's, like, better hospitals for, um that are less baby making machines, and they're more, like, especially with a double C-section, there might be some better options for other hospitals.
Yeah.
So
I mean, especially if you know that you have to have a C-section anyways.
right, right. So
Like, at
that's
that
gonna
point,
be my
you don't need someone who's a good midwife, you need someone who's a good surgeon.
right, exactly. Right. That's exactly
Yeah.
my thought.
Perfect.
Like, I'm done with them, with the midwives.
Yeah.
Bye. Like,
No, I get that. I totally hear that, especially after the experiences you had.
yeah.
Okay, so
Um,
they gave you Pitocin, your contractions skyrocketed, you were in crazy pain.
and then they didn't give me an epidural until I had to go for surgery. So I wasn't dilating, I wasn't moving. So this was like at 8 p.m. Mosey Shabbos. So Shabbos had just ended, my family was messaging what's happening. We were like, nothing yet, we'll let you know. Literally nothing yet. Like, there wasn't even a process.
Yeah.
I was 4 centimeters, like nothing was changing. The baby's heart rate kept dropping. And so they got really nervous, obviously. So they were like sending doctors in and like making sure that I was okay and whatever. And then at 3 a.m. or 2:30, like around that time, um, the midwife came in with the surgeon and they were like, okay, this is what's happening. We're seeing major, major dips every time. You're not on epidural, but the Pitocin is like really pushing the baby. Like, and the heart rate's not coming back. Like when my contraction would end, the heart rate would drop and then it was a very slow incline to come back.
It's
But then by
so
the time it would come
scary.
back, then the next contraction was coming. So they were very scared that like it was gonna happen too often that the baby's heart rate was gonna like
Drop
go down
off.
too fast and not come up
Yeah.
fast enough. So we went in. So they did epidural. That was funny. The guy that came in for my first epidural came in with like a giant hat. And I was like, you cannot be here. And he was like, what?
Yeah,
He was
no.
so confused. And I was like, we are Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Like,
You're
what
on the
are you
wrong
doing
team,
here?
and you should not be in this hospital room.
What are you even doing in Pittsburgh wearing that?
Yeah.
Like, it was
You will get mugged in Pittsburgh wearing that.
so it was actually funny. Like, that was very lighthearted, and, like, I really had a lot of fun with the staff. Like, we had a great time, I had my
That's great.
music. Like,
I
we
mean,
had a
at least
great
that.
time. But, like, that wasn't what we were there for, so
What we were there for.
no, we were not.
What were you
Like, that
there for, Shira? Not to have a great time?
no. I mean, to get the baby out in a great time.
Yes.
So, yeah, so we had that epidural. It went smoothly. I honestly don't remember anything about it. Like, it went great. Then, I went in for surgery. That was just a weird experience going in for surgery because, like within split second, they're like, "Okay, let's go," and you're like, "Okay." So like everything has to come off, all your jewelry, like everything, glasses. I couldn't even wear my tickle. Actually, like they took my tickle off, and I was like, "No, I want to wear it." And then they're like, "Okay, you could wear it, but you have to wear like the thing over it, like the
The
gown
hairnet
thing."
thing. Yeah.
They have these really cool hospital gown that like velcroed the whole way on both sides, and it was like it's just for like labor and stuff, but they were able to take that fully off, which is what they need when you're going for surgery. You're basically laying on the table, but you can't feel anything because you had that epidural, so like it just feels
Right.
very weird.
But
So I went through that process, felt normal. I mean, it was so weird, the whole thing. And like the one thing that I think back on is like when they brought Alex out to see me, I didn't cry. Like, it was the weirdest thing for me, and I think because I was just so numb from the whole experience, and I was like, "That is just, like, I'm defeated, I'm done, they're just cutting me open, taking this baby out," like, it was just, like, a really numbing thing, um, and then it led
so he was
into
born on Sunday.
yeah, he was born on Sunday, Hoshana Rabbah, at, like, 4 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but then, like, from then We had to stay we were in the hospital the whole sukkahs, like, the whole Simchas Torah,
The
Shmini
second days,
Atzeres.
yeah.
Yeah. So that was also a very different experience because it was Yontiv, so, like, no one actually, like, my mom walked in, my sister walked in, which was really nice.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, we it was nice, but then, like, then I had the nursing was just, like, not happening, and I think that that's, like, my mental like, I was so mentally shot from the whole experience that I just wasn't able to relax and, like, get out of that to be able to properly like, he latched right away, and while we were in the hospital, the nursing was fine, but then when we left, it, like, all came crumbling down, and I think that's also because I was trying to heal as well. My body was, like just went through, like, crazy trauma, being cut
Also,
open.
I mean, like, yeah, you went through like a major surgery.
Yeah.
Did you feel like in the hospital they were helping you nurse? Like they were passing him to you and like getting you
So
through all the steps to nurse, and then you actually nursed, and then they would take him, or like
so they never
your
took
husband would
him,
take
actually.
him.
No, they
Okay.
never I mean, we kept him with us the whole time. Uh,
Okay.
I think the other thing is he was such a good sleeper. Like, he slept for 8 hours while we were in the
I
hospital. Like,
remember this.
every 8 hours, he would wake up. So, like,
I remember that.
there wasn't a lot of, like, trying, if that makes sense. Like, we had the
Right.
lactation consultant come in, like, once or twice, and she was the one thing I remember her telling me was, like, "If you don't want your kid on a passy, don't start now because that's just gonna mess him up." And because of the nursing situation.
Right. Like if you
Um,
want him to be nursing well, do not start
yeah,
passy.
yeah,
Yeah. That's
and
counterintuitive. Like you are the pacifier. Why would you need a pass? Why would you need a separate one?
well, I brought sussies because I was like, "Okay, like, we'll try them out." It just was not he was not it was not. I
Yeah.
ended up leaving the hospital with a nipple shield, and that's what I used for 3 months. It was a pain in the butt. Like, honestly, it was a pain in the butt to
No,
deal with.
I can't. Like
Like, he was
it's too
getting
much
so
work.
much air.
You need
He was
like 8
getting
hands to be able to use a nipple
Yeah,
shield.
yeah. I will say, like, the first week home, you can ask my sister-in-law because we were living with my in-laws, and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law were in town. And she honestly was amazing. She, like, helped me, like she was staying in the connecting room. So, like, at night, if Gavril was, like, sleeping, I really didn't want him like, to wake him up so much because I was like, I at least need him to be, like, sleeping well so that in the morning, I can give the
He can
baby
do the
to him
day
and he can deal with
shift.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had discussed that before we even had the baby, like, whether it was gonna be a non C-section or what. Like, we were like, he needs like, we'll do him sleeping and I'll do at night. And then in the morning, he'll take the baby and I'll sleep. But even more so with a C-section, like the one thing that I knew in my head was that I needed to rest. And that was just because I had so many people telling me after I had the baby, they kept messaging me like, just don't push yourself. Like, just relax. Like, don't push
Don't move.
yourself. Like, don't go crazy. You might feel good. Just don't because you're going to regret it. And I took that to heart. Also, like,
By the way, I think
my
you were one of the
sisters and
only people who told me that after I gave birth.
me?
Yeah.
Really? That's so
Like
I
all my
I, like,
friends had
drilled it
like
into your head.
yeah, even though I had a natural birth, I didn't have a C-section, and most of my friends actually did have C-sections at the time. And like you were the only friend who was like, you actually do not move, even if you're feeling like up
Yeah,
for it, even if you're feeling good, like you need to take it easy.
yeah.
And like you drilled it
I
into my head,
drilled it.
like over. I know you would call me and be like, "Are you resting? You're supposed to be resting. Go to sleep." And it's like 2 p.m.
You'd be like, "I thought I was gonna take a nap." So take a nap. Don't think about it. Just nap. Like, don't and, like, I really took it to heart because I was like
Good.
my sister is a doula and in Florida, and I was like, "I'm gonna pay you to come," and it just didn't work out. But, like, we were like, um and then my other sister has C-sections, and so she was messaging me like, "Rest, take these are the remedies that you need." I also prepared. I did prepare myself because I didn't want to go on the whole I really stayed away from, like, recreational meds, like, even Tylenol and Advil I wasn't taking.
Pharmaceuticals. We stay away from those too.
What?
We stay away from those too.
Yeah,
We use Arnica
arnica and
200C.
staphysagria. Do you know what that's for?
Staphysagria?
Steph is Jerry. Yeah.
Staphysagria. I think we're saying the same thing.
We are. It's for
Um,
surgical wounds. Are we saying the
yeah,
same thing? Okay.
yeah, Staphysagria. We also
Uh,
used caulifilum.
yes. I have so Amazon. We love
The
Amazon.
yellow box.
Yeah, the yellow
I
box.
have it.
Yeah, so I bought that before I
It's
even
great.
went in for, like, labor. I bought it because it's good it has all the things.
Yeah. If you're pregnant now and you're listening, I'm gonna link the yellow box in the
Yes.
description. It's a great yellow box. If you are currently pregnant, you need it. Like, best, best thing I had for
Yeah.
post-birth.
Yeah. And but you wanna know what? I remember having this conversation with my sister. She was like, "Are you taking everything that all of this stuff?" Like, and she meant remedies.
Like, oh, okay.
She meant remedies, and I sent her a picture of, like, like, stand that I had next to my nursing, and it had, like, all of the meds that they prescribed me from the hospital and all of my remedies. And so
Love it.
I was just rotating,
Balance.
like, I was
Balance.
balance, you gotta do both, but
Yeah.
I also
Find your middle.
I also did not take Oxy. That was, like, my thing that, like,
It's very scary.
it's very I took it while I was in the hospital because it was just a pump that I was like, I'm just, like,
Also,
until
they're
the
monitoring you there. Like,
right, you're not,
you're
like,
not
overdosing,
overdoing
just
it. You're
kidding.
not overdosing. You're not
Yeah,
like,
and I genuinely was listening to my body, I really was, like, that was also, like, the
it's
one
good.
thing I was like, I'm not so, like, I was taking Motrin and Tylenol, and so when I left the hospital, I I had the Oxy bottle, but I didn't use it, but I was still rotating on the Tylenol and Motrin, and then I was also taking all the homeopathic stuff, and I
That's smart.
definitely think that that helped heal. It helped me heal faster the first time, and it also helped me heal from my second one as well because I already kind of knew what I was doing. So I was like, "Hey, I have all my remedies for my second one."
Amazing.
And I knew what to do. Like I was like,
Yeah. How was it for you, like, emotionally, having a C-section and then, like, recovering from, I guess, the grief of not having your birth go the way you planned it?
it was honestly exhausting. I don't think I went through so much postpartum depression. Like I don't think and it's sad, but I don't think I allowed myself to do that because I was like so mad about it that I was like, there's no point. Like, I'm just gonna like for the next birth, I'm just gonna do even more. Sounds even funnier. But I was genuinely like, I was like, I'm just gonna put my feelings aside about it. We have a healthy baby. My C-section is healing well. Like, okay,
Focus on
I'm
the
nursing.
positives.
Yeah, I was like, I really tried. I really tried. He was sleeping amazing. I was sleeping
So good.
amazing. Like once we went into the like things were happening. Like I really tried to stay away from that, but like I definitely think it took a toll on me because I had the idea of how I wanted it to go and then it was just exhausting. Like to hold
Right.
on in.
Like, it was yeah, for sure. It's exhausting to hold an
And
expectation and it just completely goes haywire, like,
yeah. And
for sure it's exhausting there.
all of those expectations from that feeling actually came out when I was pregnant with my second, which is really fascinating because
How did
I
it
went
show up
through
there?
well,
How did it show up there?
so with my first so I got pregnant when Alex was 11 months old. Yeah. We actually I was on birth control for the beginning with Alex, and then I think at, like, 7 months postpartum, I was like, "Nah." Also, like, with a C-section, like, I physically could not move for, like, a few months. Like, I moved, but I couldn't,
Right.
like, be so active, which I think also people don't realize that, like, it's a full surgery. Like, you're literally
Yeah,
like, you
it's major surgery. It's
major.
not like an outpatient procedure or anything like
No.
that. It's
It's
full
full
on
surgery.
surgery.
Yeah, that you're, like you have no idea how your body's gonna react because also with a second surgery, you're on the same scar. So, like, there's even more of that. But, like, with the first one, I really because I was resting so much and I was prioritizing that, I really didn't feel like myself so much. And then on top of that, I had
Because of the lack
the
of
birth
movement, you're
control.
saying?
Yeah, and I was very active my whole first
Right.
pregnancy and my second and now. Like, I'm just a very I walk, I was working out fully when I was pregnant with Alex. So, like, I
I
literally was like
remember.
I was so active that when I wasn't allowed to be that active, it was exhausting for my body.
Yeah.
And so when I was on the birth control as well, it was just so exhausting because I wasn't doing anything else for my brain to feel good.
Yeah, and, like, birth control does not help with that. Like,
No,
it
it
makes
just
it so much
depletes all
worse.
that anyway.
Yeah.
And so I got off of it when I was like 7 or 8 months postpartum. Um, and we were like, "Okay, we're gonna wing it." Like, we had no problem having another kid right away. Like, we were like, "Okay."
They didn't tell you that
Even
you had to wait, like, 18 months before you could get pregnant?
right. So they actually tell you to wait for till the first year.
Okay.
So I was like, "Okay, like, if in a few months, like, I'm"
Okay. That's fine.
So
Just leave it
11
4
months,
months.
12
It's
months.
like, yeah, 11 months, fine. It's
Yeah,
whatever. You're right there. You're already there.
yeah.
It's fine.
So wait, so
Yeah, same
I
thing.
had Ralphie when Alex was 21 months, so I was how
Yeah,
my
you were 11.
12
No,
months?
wait, 12
12.
months.
So at his birthday,
Yeah.
I was, like, newly pregnant.
Yeah, there you go. That works.
Yeah. So,
Especially if they told you you only had to wait a year, like, you're fine.
yeah, also my scar healed really well. I will say, with scar healing, I think that the medical system is really bad at informing about how to properly heal a scar. I will say that my mother-in-law is a labor and delivery nurse. And so I had no problem asking her to look and help me. And we were living
Yeah.
in their house still because of
Right.
Silkus, and we moved back in after we had the baby for a little bit. And she really, really helped me. Like, I would have her help me clean it. Like, I was like, "Can you just help me? Like, I need to see if it's
Thank
still
God.
closed and whatever." And so she was really helpful. And yeah, I just kind of I did my own thing. I just do think that they're just not helpful. Like, I have a lot of scar tissue and I know I do, and I'm having like after effects of it now. Still after my second C-section, like even after my second, I still didn't get the proper help for it. So that's also something that I'm like looking into now after having two
Right.
because it's
Like,
definitely
if you have
affecting
the same experience a second time, like, you know that you need to look into it further because they're not gonna help you there.
yeah, yeah. And, like, I tried even like, there's someone I follow who does, like, massaging for C-section scars, and she teaches you how to do it, but it's all about just, like even just, like, not having the knowledge beforehand, I think also puts a lot of block on the idea of it.
Right.
Um,
Does scar tape
so
help at all? Scar tape, does that help at all?
well, scar or tape you're not really supposed to put on for a few weeks.
No, no, not in the beginning. I'm saying, like, after it's considered healed.
Well, so mine healed, like, fully healed within the first 6 weeks, like, it was fully closed and
Oh,
everything. I'm talking more about, like, the under stuff, like the scar tissue and the buildup and the
you're saying, like, the layers on the inside?
yeah. So, like, what happens when you get any type of surgery is you get scar tissue right underneath that basically is a protectant for your cut underneath. But there's ways to help maneuver it so it doesn't feel stuck. And it's also like I think it's like fascia. I don't really know what it is. So I'm not medically because I'm not a medical
Yeah,
person. I don't really know. But like if I would feel my scar today, I would feel like it's tight, like there's things pulling it. Like people also there's something called transverse uterus can happen when it's pulled when your it says when your uterus tilts backwards toward the rectum rather than towards the belly, and, from a C-section, that can happen because the scar tissue is pulling. So, like, your body, your uterus can be tilted after a C-section
right.
because it pulls it.
Interesting.
So they just sew everything together layer by layer, but it just tightens it.
For
It
sure.
yeah.
It doesn't have the same elasticity as regular skin anymore, for sure. Like, that makes so much sense. Okay. So, what emotions came up after your Mm. You know what?
That
My
was
favorite episodes to record are with friends because we just giggle the whole time and it's fun. Mhm.
that was just such a, like so what episode
So, what emotions were there, were present for you during this time?
they were present. They were present.
They were present. Were they? Okay. What were you feeling about your birth not going anywhere near what you thought it would? And how did that affect you?
Um, wait, but I think I answered this already
You said that
previously.
you saw it. You said that you felt like you saw it affecting you in your pregnancy, but you didn't elaborate. I don't know if you meant not to elaborate.
No,
Like, it
I
sounded like
no,
you were gonna elaborate, but then you didn't.
no, I know I was going to with Rafi, right? Okay, so I think so with we got into the whole, birth control conversation.
Yeah.
Felt like I got off of it because I just wasn't feeling myself, and then I got pregnant with Rafi, around Alex's first birthday, which was it was like we knew it was probably gonna happen, but, like, we were shocked because it took me, like, a year to get pregnant with Alex from my first miscarriage, so it took us a full year without any like, we weren't doing anything to prevent.
Without any birth control. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, so it took us from
Could be
my
your body just needed, like, time
time.
to heal. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so interesting.
yeah, so I was pregnant at your wedding with the miscarriage.
I feel like you told me.
I was, like, 2 months pregnant. I was, like, not 2 months. Yeah,
Yes. I didn't know you were pregnant at my wedding. You didn't tell me before. You told me, like, a couple
after.
months later.
Right,
You told
when
me
I had my miscarriage.
you were yeah, you told me when you had your miscarriage, yeah.
Yeah. So after the miscarriage, we didn't try any preventions because I was I don't wanna put anything, inhibiting
Are you fine with
something.
the miscarriage being in the podcast?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
Just wanna confirm.
Um, that also was, like, a shock because we weren't expecting either to get pregnant right away. That was also, I think, when you get married, you have this expectation, and then you're like, "Oh, but it's not gonna happen," you know? And
Like, oh,
then
like, I might get pregnant right away, but, like, probably
right,
not.
right, and, I already didn't want to take anything because I have, thyroid stuff, and so I just didn't wanna, mess with that already.
Makes
And I
sense.
also had I was put on birth control in my teenage life for hormonal stuff already. So I was off of that. I was like, I'm not doing anything. So then, I got pregnant, then I had my miscarriage, and then it took us a full year out to get pregnant. No, about a year. And so I had my miscarriage in January, and then I got pregnant the next year. I found out I was pregnant. So, okay. So, second time around, right? So, yada yada. I came home from my first kid. I nursed for 3 months. Because it was with the nipple shield, I ended up stopping after 3 months.
Proud of you for going 3 months, especially with the nipple shield.
Yeah, it was really hard. I pumped a lot. I did a lot of pumping, but I also am not a high milk supplier, and I know that. So I was just exhausted. It was all the time. And so I kind of just was done after 3 months. And so I did formula. So then everything was fine after that. Um, and then with my second, I was like, okay, I'm going in with a different mindset. I'm not going in with I'm not going to have a C-section. I would love to have a VBAC, but I'm not going into it saying I'm never going to because I did that with the first and I was so defeated that I literally was just mad at the whole situation. And I was like, I don't want to feel like that every time I have a baby. My dream as a mom is to become a mom. So why am I going to be mad at how that happens? You know?
Yeah. It's actually such a good point, like, such a good line.
Thanks.
No, like, we're so obsessed with, like, the
How?
details of exactly how like, our birth plan and yes, birth plans are important. I think they're very important. I will be the biggest advocate for a birth plan, but, like, if your health or your baby's health is, in jeopardy in any way, your birth plan is just a piece of paper with some words on it, like
Right. Right. And it's all about, you can have as many things as you want on your birth plan, but if your mindset is not there, then what's the point? You
yeah,
know? Because all you're doing is sitting in front of a doctor or whoever and being like, this is my birth plan. And they're like, well, what did you do to help with that birth plan? And you're like, nothing. I did
right.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
You can't be
exactly.
mad at the system for not doing something. So going in, I found someone in our community who she's amazing at what she does. I worked with her with Rafi, but I was friends with her. Like she saw me my whole postpartum experience, and she definitely was giving me tips and things to help with nursing and things like that. She actually came to my house the week after Alex was born. I had a full meltdown trying to get him to nurse, and it was just I was like crying. It was like I think I came home. It was like Motzei Yontiv, actually. It wasn't even a work. It wasn't even a week. It was like 3 days. And she came and she sat with me and like she let me feel how I was feeling about it. And I fully like I just was very comfortable around her. And so I
She
knew
was the
going into
one who you sent me like her
her information.
no, she has like a printout
Oh, yeah,
or like a
yeah, about
screenshot or
resting.
whatever.
About the resting.
About resting. Yeah, you sent it
Yeah.
to me and you were like, print this and
Yeah.
put it next to your bed. And every time you want to get out of your bed, you have to read it all. And I was like, okay.
Because
And I did.
I felt that she actually helped me with that stuff.
That's
And like I
amazing.
just kept remembering. So she's actually a home birth midwife and she is right
Oh,
now
she's a
doing
midwife.
she's a home birth midwife, yes. But she right now is becoming she's in school for something else also.
Okay.
I think she's in school for
Cool.
nurse midwifery.
Oh, like to be a certified nurse midwife.
Yes.
Amazing.
So that's her goal.
So, okay. So she's like a lay midwife.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I've never
So
actually met a lay midwife
but she
before.
only does, she couldn't take me on as a patient in that regard because she doesn't work in the hospitals.
She couldn't work in a hospital if she's not certified.
Well, now, I mean, she's in school for it right now.
No, I'm saying then. Like legally, she can't work in a
Right.
hospital.
Legally, she can't. Right.
Yeah.
So she's a doula also.
Oh, cool. Could she have worked with you in that capacity as your
She
doula?
could have, but she wasn't taking any hospital patients. Like
Okay,
she
makes
like,
sense.
and I spoke to her about it, and she was like, if I was taking hospital patients, I would have had you, you know. And so which I understood. So, like, there was
Yeah.
no hard feelings for that, and I knew that with my second pregnancy, I was gonna go straight to her. So, like, the minute I found out I was pregnant, I messaged her, and I was like, "I would love you to help me just go through my past experience and, like, help give me the power because I need my power back because I just feel defeated, um, to go into my next birth." And so we started like pretty early on. I think I went to like I had a lot of sessions with her. It was more about like the behind the scenes aspect of like why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling with birth and labor. I let out a lot of emotions from what I was having with Rafi. There was a lot of stuff that I held on to. And so I felt good. Like I felt good going in with Rafi's
When you say good, you mean
labor.
like confident that you were having a VBAC.
I went in with the idea that I could have a VBAC.
Okay.
'Cause I did not have any mindset that I was not going to have a C-section again because I didn't wanna put that pressure on myself. But
Like lowering your expectations to
yeah,
be
I
realistic.
lowered that expectation, and I had the expectation that, like, I could have a VBAC, but if Hashem puts me in the direction of having a C-section again, then I'm just gonna I have to be open to that.
Yeah.
Because I did what I can, and I literally did what I could. I went to her, I did therapy, like, I really did what I could.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, and then I will say the one thing that, like, was in my head a lot was, there was one specific midwife who I disliked from even from my first pregnancy, and I saw her a couple times, and every time I saw her, she would mention the idea that they would try to help me have a VBAC, but it's not so possible at all. Like, she was very negative about it. Um, and so
Ick.
every time I left that appointment, anytime I saw her, I really tried to not schedule my appointments with her because I was just like I would ask every time I made an appointment, I was like, "Please tell me she's not there." Like, I was like, "I don't want her
Like
there
just
that day."
confirm who I'm seeing.
Yeah. Um, now the day I went into labor, I had a doula. I was living with my in-laws. My water broke in the middle of the day. And it was the first time I experienced that. So that was also new for me. And so I went through the whole process. My contractions were like pretty good. I actually had Honolulu come over to check me with I
That's
think with
great.
yeah, and she was like, you're still really not anything." She was like, "So you should just stay home as long as possible.
Right.
If that's what your goal is to prevent anything else from happening, you should stay home." So I really tried. I had my doula there. I was in the shower a lot. I was in so much pain.
Yeah. The contractions do that too.
Yeah, but I don't know why, but I think they were, like, bad. Like, I don't and it wasn't like I was holding on to it, and I don't know if everybody's contractions are different feeling, you know? I have a very high pain threshold, so I was shocked at how painful they were, and even my doula
Yeah.
was like, "Your contractions are, like, very strong." Like, even more she was like, "For sure are something's happening down there." Like, they're very,
I
very
wonder
strong.
if I remember that, like, for me, when baby wasn't in exactly the right position, the contractions were stronger when they were moving into the right position. So
Interesting.
I wonder if Rafi was maybe, like, tilted or, like, his
And it
head was, like,
was
up instead of down, and, like, those contractions were helping him move into the right
it was
position.
hurting.
Yeah. Like, it was painful as hell, especially if he was flipped sunny side up and, like, you were having back labor. Like,
I don't
that's
know if I was.
I wonder if
I
you could
don't
ask
know.
them.
I can't remember. Wait, Kate, I mixed up my 2 births. Just backstory for a second, backtrack. I got to 6 centimeters with Alex, okay?
Okay.
And 100% effaced. So, they cut me short, and that's why I was so mad, because they cut me short because he kept dropping his heart rate, that they,
Mm.
like, kind of refused for me to go ahead, to continue. So, they were like, "We need to stop, like, this we can't go any further." So and my contraction and my doula was not helpful. That was with my first
Right.
birth. So
Right.
I had all the problem. I was just, like, mad at the whole thing because I could
Yeah,
have
you were already
probably made
upset,
it.
like
Yeah, I was already upset, and when they pulled Alex out, full cone head. Full cone head.
he
Like,
was already descending.
full cone head. Like, I can't the pictures, he doesn't have a forehead. Like, literally, like, boop, like, full cone head. Anyway, then with Rafi, I tried staying home for as long as possible. These contractions were just so bad that I went to the hospital. I called my midwife. My water broke, so I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go." Because I was like, "My water broke. My contractions are really bad. I've been here for 12 hours at home." Like, I literally was home for 12 hours, like, just
That's
dealing with it.
amazing. Like, laboring.
Yeah, and I was like, "Okay, I can't go any longer." So I went to the hospital.
How we keep doing this shit, by the way? How do we keep having kids knowing our experiences? Like,
Because we forget.
remembering what we no, 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 we do you forgot how it felt to have those contractions?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I remember every single detail of all my contractions, it was terrible.
I really don't feel I don't know why, I just don't feel the pain anymore. I don't feel it. Like, I'm like, I know that my body was contracting and there was pain, but I don't remember the
Like, your
feeling.
body doesn't remember the feeling. Yeah, but think about it, like, when you stub your toe, do you remember how it felt to stub your toe? You know no, you just remember what
Yeah,
it like, you just
right,
remember experiencing pain.
right. Like,
Like,
I
your body
remember
doesn't
that it was
hold on to
painful.
it.
Right,
Right. But, like, we remember that it was painful, and we just choose to keep doing it again and again.
I know.
The hell's wrong with us? We're psychopaths.
We just
Like,
love having children. I can't.
that was a joke. Okay.
So, what else? So, I went to the hospital, went into the normal rhythm of things. Like, got to the hospital. I wanted to labor without any interventions. I was already contracting, so I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna hang out." The midwife was unbelievable, okay? Unbelievable. I went in, she was like, "I'm not even pushing." She was like, "Usually we push because your water broke, and so usually we give 24 hours." She was like, "I'm not even gonna." They basically have a limit, like, after
A
24
clock,
hours.
right?
Well, this midwife said usually it's 24 hours, but she was like, everything's looking clean and, like, clear, and there's like, I'm not even gonna worry. Like, this is what she said.
Right, like, I remember when my water broke with Rose, I'm almost positive the clock that my midwife originally gave me was, like, 48 hours. But then the only reason why my clock was lowered to 24 hours was because I had meconium in my water, and it's like an aspiration risk. So, like, that part I understand 24 hours, but regular water breaking, I don't know why I remember it being much longer.
So, maybe in a hospital setting, it's different.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because they don't want
It's
their
always
risk of
gonna be.
infection. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like, they were like, after 24 hours, and then she was like, "You're fine, you're fine." The problem is that with these midwives, they're always leaving because their shift is over. So she left, and the one thing I remember saying to both my mother-in-law and my mother before I went to the hospital, it was just fascinating how my brain knew. And I looked at them and I said, "If that midwife that I know, that I don't like, that doesn't appreciate, that won't support me in this idea of me not having another C-section, if she walks into that room, I'm having a C-section." And guess who walked into that room? She did. And so
That's
I
so
looked at
frustrating.
Gabrielle and I was like, "We're done." It was like the fact that I'm even like, even still pushing for a VBAC, there's no point because she will just force it. So there was a lot of like back and forth with my doula and like with the midwives, it's very hard because you can't really ask for another one because there's no other one.
There's no one else available.
Right, and because I wasn't a
Yeah,
part of the OBGYN office, it's not like I could ask for an OB-GYN because I was like,
right.
So, I kind of just I tried as much as I could. I didn't get Pitocin right away, but she came in and she was like, heart rate," and I was like, I was, like, annoyed with her. I got Pitocin without an epidural, and I only made it to 4 centimeters with Rafi. So, with Alex, I made it to 6. With Rafi, I only made it to 4, and I was 75% effaced by the end of it. Like, I
Okay,
wasn't even with my water breaking and everything, um, I still was lower than what I was with Alex when I gave birth to
right,
Alex. So but with Alex, I didn't even my water didn't even break. So, like, I didn't even
right,
and then I had all of that stuff happen. So,
right.
with Rafi, I was expecting that when my water broke that I would already be, getting to a especially with how bad my contractions were. I was like, "Yeah, for sure, I'm, like, at 6 already." Like, I was literally sitting there. So, they put me on Pitocin without an epidural because I wanted to be able to move around as much as I could. And though that's when it went, like, crazy. I was, like, exhausted because I was already up for so long. Yeah, and then they came in every, like, few hours and checked me, and nothing changed, and I was just in so much pain, and I was exhausted, and I had a migraine. I was just, like, a mess. So, I was like, "Just give me the epidural." I was like, "Give me the epidural and I'll sit in a comfortable position enough to try to help bring the baby down more." But this was all my choice. Like with Alex's, I didn't feel like I had the choice to make. But this, I was very vocal the entire
Do
time
you feel
about
like you
what
were
I
able to
wanted.
advocate better because of your first experience?
Yeah, 100%. And like, and I felt that. And
That makes
Gabriel
so
felt
much
that.
sense.
Like he was like, "You're really doing a lot more than you did the first birth." Like standing
At
up
your
for
first birth, you
yourself.
don't know to, like, you don't know
No.
how to.
Yeah, and I felt
Yeah,
that, and I think that
that's
really
awesome.
was, like, with doing all that therapy with Honolulu and just, like, talking about my past birth, that I really was able to find my voice in this birth, which really helped me, um, and so, this is a funny story. I got an epidural. Also, it's July, okay? July is when everyone's new in the hospitals. Like, all the graduates are coming in. So you're getting residents, you're
Ew.
getting yeah. So I had someone who was new to come in for do my epidural. And now I knew what an epidural felt like because I had one previously and it was so easy that I was like expecting it to be easy. And she comes in and I'm sitting and I'm having painful contractions and you have to sit so still. You cannot move. I'm literally like squeezing Gabriel's hands, my doula's hands, like I'm just in pain. And she's like, "It's not working. I'm not getting it where I need to go." So I look at her and I'm like, "I need you to get someone else." I was like, "It's not about you. I just can't sit any longer. Like, I need you to get someone that can come in and do it in a split second. Like, I can't." So she called in her supervisor. He walks in And he walks over and he's like, I could do it. And he did it. They get the epidural in. I meet the surgeon. I don't even know. I think she was my surgeon from last time because it was a woman. I don't remember, honestly. The process was a lot longer that I remember
Okay.
than with Alex's because it was a lot of new people also. So there were like a lot of new things going on. My anesthesiologist was unbelievable. He was like, I had Gabriel. And then like my doula was there taking pictures, but he was like there being like, we're almost done. Like he was telling me everything that had to like that was going on in front because like Gabriel
That's
wasn't
great.
looking and the doula was kind of like out to lunch taking photos. But he was like, I kept telling when I went in, I said, I really like to know what's going on. So like just tell me. And I don't care. You could tell me my
Mm,
my belly's open. Like I don't care. I just want to know for myself. And yeah, it was a great experience. It was much better. I mean, it was a lot. It was
thank God.
longer, but when they pulled him out, the first thing I said, the first thing I said was like, "Oh my God, he looks like my sister." Because he does. He looks like Connie, which is so weird for me.
Really? That's
He looked
so
like Connie, like
funny.
the minute. So he
Wait, I
still looks,
actually see it. He still looks like Connie.
yeah, it's cute.
That's
So
really cute.
yeah. So it was much better. I got pictures, which I don't have I have a few from Alex, but not so many. But yeah, it was a much better
Opposite.
experience. Yeah, and like the minute he was born and like we went back to the room and I looked at Gabriel and I was like, Rafael, like we have to figure out a name with that. Cause I was like, I just felt so much better. And my whole mindset was different. And I fully nursed him until he was a year old. Like my brain, it was just a different experience, the whole thing.
God.
And yeah, it was just a beautiful and I think, like, your mindset really makes a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, I did have, like, some problems with my scar. Like, we were living on the 3rd floor of my in-laws' house, so, like, I was walking up and down stairs a lot, which is a no-no. And so that
Even if you didn't
definitely
have a C-section, that's a huge no-no. Like,
right. So,
that's a no across the board. Like, you should not be doing anything.
yeah, yeah. And because it was a repeated C-section, there were, like I actually went home the same day, which I think I
That's kinda
did.
cool.
I went home yeah, I went home. I went in the hospital Wednesday night, and I left Friday morning, and he was born, like, I don't remember Thursday morning? Like, it was within 24 hours I left, which with a C-section, they keep you for 2 days.
Alright.
But they were really happy with my progress, so I was able to leave early.
Great.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's awesome. No, your mindset literally shapes, like, the experience that you're gonna have. Your mindset is so powerful. By the way, in my, like, course, um, one of the things that we, like, heavily focus on is shifting your mindset.
Mm.
And I think that it's been so helpful for, like, a lot of my clients that I work with that we start during the last trimester because that mindset work and, like, the identity work is being done in that course. And yes, my focus is for postpartum, but I think a lot of it affects them in their births as well. And, like, having the tools to be able to shift your mindset when things are going hard or not the way that you expected them to is, like, some of my clients have literally told me that it was, like, game changing for them to be able to, like, have the tools and have the words in their head to, like, pull back to and be like, "I'm safe. My baby's safe," like, things like that. It's so powerful.
Yeah. I also like just like a side point. Like I think I also had the on the side, I was like, Alex. Like my whole time, I was like, Alex, we did this with Alex, like, and he's doing well. Like I wasn't worried. Like,
Right, Baruch Hashem.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I definitely had the of like, I just want to bring home a safe, healthy baby. And if that means that
yeah,
I'm gonna have the same experience, then I'm gonna have the same experience. But your experience changes with your mindset. So it could be the same exact thing, but if your mindset is in a different space, it's a totally different experience
exactly.
because your brain is wired in a
Yeah,
different way.
100%. It's so I saw it in my second birth when I was giving birth to Ari, I saw it so clearly, like, for I was in okay, I was in we're starting before that. 32 weeks, I thought I was going into labor.
I remember that.
I went to the hospital.
I remember
I
this.
was legit having contractions 3 minutes apart
I
at
remember.
32 weeks. I was in full panic mode, and my midwife is not allowed to come with me to the hospital because I was planning a home birth. And I was just there with Nahi, and they're like, okay, so we're gonna do a cervical check. We'll see, like, whatever, how far you are. And they check, and like, I'm at like a one. They're like, okay, we're gonna come back in 3 hours and check if there's any movement. If the contractions stop or get less painful, let us know. An hour later, the contractions stop completely. And they're like, well, we have to keep you here for another 2 hours to finish the cervical check because it has to have a starting and an ending point. And I was like, shit, like I'm laying in a hospital doing jack shit, like staring at the ceiling. It was, ugh, I didn't even eat dinner. I was so hungry. And there was like no kosher food around. Like I couldn't even Uber Eats anything. Like no Uber Eats is coming to like buttfuck nowhere where this hospital was. Not that it was in the middle of nowhere. It was literally like Presbyterian, but still. And like I remember when they let me go home, I was like so relieved. And like from that moment for the rest of my pregnancy, like
You were like,
my very consistent theme for my second pregnancy was that I had a very miserable pregnancy because I was in shock from finding out I was pregnant. Like I was not prepared to be pregnant again. And it was a miserable pregnancy. And from that 32-week point where I thought I was going into labor way too early till the end, yes, I was still physically miserable, but mentally and emotionally, I was like, thank God I'm still pregnant. Like every day I would wake up and be like, thank you, Hashem, that I'm still pregnant until like 38 weeks. And I was like, okay, I don't mind now. Like, please get this
I
child out of
remember
me.
when you called me. I remember when you called me and I was like, girl, you gotta hydrate. And you were like, yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, no. It was a hydration issue. By the way, guys, I'm leaving that part in. So whoever's listening, drink your damn water because if you don't, you'll think you're in labor at 32 weeks because I was severely dehydrated.
Yeah.
And yeah, they
Also, like
literally
when you
like
have major contractions, like when you're dehydrated, your body is already depleted. So imagine like being pregnant and then being dehydrated. Your baby's already like eating everything from you. That if
yeah.
you're not
No, they
drinking,
literally
you're
like
not hydrating.
they were shocked because
Yeah.
they gave me liquid IV like whatever, I don't know what it's called, the IV with the
Mhm.
saline. Um and I think my body took in at least a full liter, which is like 1 bag, right?
I
At
guess.
least a full liter before I had to go to the bathroom.
You're
Like,
so depleted.
bare minimum, a full liter before I needed the bathroom because my body like, I did not drink water. And, like, I knew you had to stay hydrated, but I guess I didn't realize how much I hadn't drank that day. But, no, literally the rest of my pregnancy, my mindset was like, "Thank you, Hashem, that I'm still pregnant," up until, like, 38 weeks, and then by, like, 39 plus 3 is when I gave birth to Ari. But another thing about mindset there was that I went into false labor on December 31st in the evening, and I started panicking because my midwife was upstate with her family for New Year's Eve and for New Year's for the holidays. And I texted her and I was like, "Hey,
I think I'm in labor.
so I think this is it." And she was like, "Okay, here's the backup midwife. I'm on my way to the city. I'm getting in my car now and I'll be there in 3 hours. And if you are literally like pushing a baby out within that time that I'm not there yet, call the backup midwife and she'll be there." And I was like, okay. Long story short, my contractions continued for the next 5 hours, meaning she got to the city, got to my apartment, and only 2 hours later did they stop completely. It was the weirdest thing ever. I'm so mad. Like, no, I'm done. I need this baby out of me. Like, I'm done with this pregnancy. I was so upset. And I ended up going for reflexology. And this is where the mindset piece comes in. That the first thing I said when I walked into the reflexologist, Kaya Strasberg, she's incredible. She's local and kind of like she's in East Lapa. She's amazing. I walked in and she was like, "Why are you here?" And I was like, I don't want to be pregnant anymore. And I didn't realize at the time, like, as I said that, I was just like, I'm done with this pregnancy. I just need to give birth. And when she was doing like her practice and like doing the actual reflexology, she was like, I'm just bringing to awareness to the way that to what you said when you walked in. You said, I don't want to be pregnant anymore. You didn't say, I want to give birth. I want to go into labor. like, whatever. You said, I don't want to be pregnant anymore. Can you tell me more about that? And basically, like, I just broke down, like, crying. And I was like, I can't, like, this pregnancy has been so miserable. And like, I can't be pregnant anymore. I'm so excited to meet this child, so excited to meet the baby, and I just can't be pregnant anymore. And I don't remember exactly what she had said to me, but I remember when I was actually in labor and like I got to this point in my contractions where in hindsight, I now know that I was obviously in transition where it's like much more painful than everything until that point. And at the time, I didn't realize that I was in transition yet. And I literally looked at my mom and I was like, I just want to go to the hospital. Like, I can't do this anymore. I need this baby out. Like, I can't keep being pregnant. Like, I was also worried that the contractions were just going to stop again because it had already done that. Like, that whole week from December 31st when I went into false labor until January 10th when I actually gave birth, I was having false labor the whole time up until Thursday night, which is the night before I gave birth,
Right.
which is when it turned into real labor. And I didn't know it was real labor because I had been experiencing false labor the whole time. And I was like, just take me to the hospital and like get this baby out, get me an epidural. I don't want to feel the pain anymore. I don't want to, I'm done. And my mom was like, she didn't know what to do. She didn't know what to say because like to her, she's watching her child be in like crazy pain. She's like, yeah, obviously get my child out of this pain. And my midwife came in and she was like, hey, remember we planned a home birth? You're safe. Your baby's safe. Everyone's fine. Is there a reason you want to go to the hospital and get an epidural? And I remember I started crying and I was like, I can't, like, I'm in so much pain. I'm done with this pregnancy. I just need the baby out. And like, I can't, like, the contractions are just going to stop again. Like, I can't do that. Like, I need it out. And she was like, okay, what if we start like filling the tub? And I was like, "Oh, okay. Like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's flip the tub." Like, and I just like became very calm because the tub was like my actual favorite part of both my births. Like just sitting in the tub, even though neither of my births ended up being water births. But like just that time that I got to sit in the tub and like labor in the tub was so nice that during that like hour that I was waiting for the tub to be filled, I just started talking to myself like out loud and saying positive affirmations. And I literally remember being like, I could do this. I'm strong.
Yeah,
I'm
your mindset.
brave. Like, not just your mindset changing, because like your mindset changing could be like an internal quiet, whatever, but hearing it out loud and like, yeah, it's coming from my own voice. So it's my choice to say those things out loud, but just hearing it like, I am brave. I am strong. My body can do anything I put my mind towards. Me and my baby will work together to get the baby out. Like, we got
I'm
this.
almost there.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't say that because I genuinely did not believe it at that point, but even though I gave birth 2 hours later, like, just hearing those affirmations out loud, even in my own voice, was so, like, shifting for me that, like, it literally changed the course of the rest of my birth, how, like,
Yeah.
I was fine. I was like, "Oh, I don't need the hospital, I'm fine." Like, I just needed to talk to myself out loud like a crazy person, like, "I'm good." But yeah, your mindset is really powerful. And like it's so important how like you saw what your mindset was with your birth with Alex, with your like labor with Alex, and that you were able to like work through that during your pregnancy and kind of like like
Change
create a
the
positive
outcome.
outcome for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like
And I
it's
also
so
think, like
it's amazing.
I also think, like, just a message to everyone that, like, really, from the outside, like, when you're pregnant, there's so much noise. Everybody has an opinion about it. Everybody has something else. And I think that really, like, you just as much as you say it doesn't affect your mindset, it really does. And I saw that with my first, that with my second, I genuinely was like, I'm not even listening to anybody. Like, I remember someone, like, a couple people would be like, yeah, like, do this and do this. And I was like, I'm not doing any of it. I'm either not doing it or I have to do it myself without any voices because I was like the first time I had everyone's voice in my head and I came out feeling defeated and like exhausted and tired and not wanting to like emotionless for the first kid that I was
Yeah.
like I
No,
can't do
that's
that
really
again
hard.
to myself. Like I just need to be present. And so I really think that like there's a lot of voices that you just have to remember that, like, this is your journey. Having a baby is your journey. And however it happens, it happens. And if that's the way that you planned it happens it that way, then that's amazing. And if not, you still had a baby. And like it's hard. And
And
all
it's
the
hard to
processes is
hold
hard.
that. It's very
Yeah.
hard to hold that. Like, no one's diminishing how hard it is to be able to hold that. But at the end of the day, like, I think everyone could agree that, like, healthy mom, healthy baby is the ultimate priority. And it is unfortunate that sometimes our plans don't go as we wanted them to.
Yeah.
And thank God we have medical interventions like C-sections to make sure that our moms and our babies are healthy at the end. Because, like, this is, like, a hard thing to think about that, like, we don't know what could have happened if you continued laboring naturally.
Right.
Like, if, by your first labor, his heart rate was already dropping,
Right.
maybe that was the exact moment that they needed to pull you into a C-section, even though for you it did feel like it was coerced, but, like, there's just no way to know what could have happened if you
Right.
waited even a couple minutes longer.
Right. And that's where I think like the defeat came from, that I was like, this
Right.
is I could have done it. I could have. That I was like when it came down to Rafi and I was like, hey, I did everything else. I did the therapy for it. I did the other research. I changed my mindset. I did all of that. And yet we're still back at the point of me needing a C-section, that I was like, okay, like I'm just
Yeah.
going to let it happen because I couldn't put that on myself again. I couldn't not enjoy the part of having a baby that I wanted to enjoy.
I think a lot of it also comes down to, like, bitachon
Yeah.
and, like, being able to say, like, with full
Surrendering.
sincerity that, like, Hashem is in charge and, like, he has a plan for every single birth and every single mom and every single baby, and our plans go to shit sometimes, and whatever, like, it could be really hard to sit with the knowledge that your life is blowing up, but there's a plan you don't know about. And, like, I say that about, like, anything, like, about trauma, about, like, you could apply it to any aspect in life. It's not just about birth, but, like, bitachon is a huge, huge part of our lives that, like, we really need to create that trust in ourselves, and we need to create trust in Hashem within ourselves to be able to be okay with the outcomes of situations we didn't necessarily expect or want.
Well, we did want it. We came out with the want
Well,
of a baby.
that of course, that of course. I'm saying like you didn't want a C-section. I wasn't talking about the baby, Shira. Talking about the C-section. But I don't know if you heard this on the previous episode that I did with Connie Lipovenko. Basically, I recently learned this very interesting thing about C-section, and I wonder if you'll appreciate it. Basically, there's 7 layers that the doctor needs to cut through to get to your baby, to take baby out, and then you need to be stitched back up 7 layers. I had learned about it before I heard it, but then when I heard it, it kind of like reminded me that I learned about it. And basically, she was saying how um, a neshama has to go through 7 realms to come into this world. And there's, I don't remember all of the details of like the 7 like checkpoints of birth, like of natural birth,
Like the 7
where
transitions, I think. There's
the 7 what?
like transitions that happen.
Maybe, I don't
Something like
remember,
that. Yeah.
something like that. But like there's 7 checkpoints that somewhat correspond spiritually to the neshama being able to descend into this world. And it was like we were able to correlate that to a C-section where you're not having those 7 checkpoints because you're not pushing the baby out anymore, but the baby is still going through 7 layers, which correspond to the 7 realms of the neshama coming down. So, how cool.
So cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Party, party.
Pretty pretty.
All right. Anything you want to leave our listeners with before we close?
I think I think our whole chat was just about our mindset, and I think that's the biggest thing. that,
I think
like,
it's the biggest thing.
when your mindset is in a certain way or is so stuck, it's very hard to be able to appreciate the steps that you go through to get to
Yeah.
the end goal.
Yeah. I also just wanna add to that before we wrap up, that it's very easy to look back and see my mindset was super negative then, and I changed it, and now it's positive. Very easy to say that was wrong, this is right. That's fine. I think the hard part that we all can work on and can all learn from is that even when things are hard, like when you're going through it and when you're in that negative mindset, being able to recognize that that mindset is prevalent and like hold it, like being held over you, even like self imposed,
Yeah.
is it's a really powerful like tool to have to be able to notice that, like, hey, I'm stuck here and I will figure out a way out. And it's okay that I'm stuck here for a minute, but you can't let yourself be a victim to staying stuck. Yeah, love that.
That's great.
Shira, thank you so much for coming on Evening Tea.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
so
me.
much for sharing your story.
I appreciate having a voice.
I'm so honored that you chose to come on and share with us. Thank you for spending this time with us. If this conversation stayed with you, consider sharing it with another mom who might need to hear it too. Until next time, trust your intuition, move gently, and take care of yourself. Good night, mamas. And I mean that this time because it's actually nighttime and I'm going to go to bed.